So a few days ago, this video that went viral shows several police officers beating an African-American man like in a parking lot. Looks like a little plaza or something. And what happened was that the video, obviously, like I said, it went viral. And I got several messages with the link to the video saying, post now. This just happened in Rochester. It's the Gates, New York Police Department. So for those of you from Rochester, New York, you'll know that Gates is a town neighboring Rochester, just outside Rochester. Small town on the west side. And basically, the officers were not Gates. The incident was actually in Euclid, Ohio. So I'm just glad that I vetted it because, something about the video originally. The thing is that the cars from Euclid, Ohio, the police cars, look basically pretty much identical to the Gates police cars. And that's why a lot of people thought it was Gates police. But me, in my experience, working with video and looking at video, right away I knew something was off because all the cars, the civilian cars in the video that you can see kind of passing by as this black man is being beat by the Euclid police officers, Euclid, Ohio. Right away, I noticed a lot of white plates. And if you're from New York State, our plates right now is that golden yellow and the blue on top. And, the last plates we had before those were white. And you still see some of those, but they're far and few between. So right away, I knew something was off when I saw all the white plates. So as a result of that, the Gates, New York Police Department put together like a little ice cream, little get-together for kids and community members, anybody that wanted to stop by. And I figured I'd come through. And let's see what happens.
Back to the mic.
How you doing, Chief VanBrederode?
Hey, good to see you, sir.
Wondering, I can ask you a couple quick questions
let's
for
go
Davy
on.
V TV. Are you familiar with my work?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Your Facebook page clearly states that it's a result, the gathering.
Yep.
It's a result of the Euclid police.
Yeah, absolutely.
Why does it seem like a knee-jerk reaction to that incident? In other words, you guys should do this all the time. This is what police should do. More get-together so that kids, in the community, that's how I grew up. Whether or not you agree with my work, I grew up in a time where the police walked the beat.
Absolutely.
Maple section, Ron Fontaine, a great friend of my father. I had breakfast with him a couple weeks ago. Police League softball was involved. I don't know if you remember that Maple section at the Cops Hill Park. They did so much with the youth. So, without putting you on the spot here, but honestly, it shouldn't be just as a response to the Euclid incident. Why don't you guys do this more often?
Well, actually, we do, Dave. Unfortunately, I think you missed some of our events. Back in January, we had a come out and eat donuts with the cops, and then we went on a mile walk.
Well, I know you've done them, yeah.
We did the hug event at Walmart. That was in August. We have our National Crime Night Out. But more importantly, we have communication with our community almost daily through our Facebook page, and then we have a whole email list of all our neighborhood watchers.
Right.
I'd be willing to bet that Gates Police is probably one of the most active police departments when it comes to including the community, communicating with the community. I think our Facebook page is one of the most interactive ones we have. And we don't sugarcoat stuff. We deal with the issue, whether it's that heroin epidemic, which is absolutely terrible.
Yep. I follow that.
To the drunk drivers on the holidays, we address every issue that comes up.
I guess my point is if it wasn't so clearly stated that it was in response to the Euclid incident, and why hold it on why not hold it on a Saturday or a weekend where more kids can come and more more family. I mean, on the weekends, people work in the weekdays and.
Well, I think if you look at the crowd here tonight, I think it says we picked a good night. Number one, we knew the weather was going to be okay on Wednesday. Number two, we didn't want to wait 4 or 5 days.
Right.
We wanted to do this immediately because as time goes on, there's other things in the news already nationally that have already pushed this way aside.
No, trust me.
So look, we wanted to do this right away while it was in the news.
Well, in your guys' defense, I like how you guys teamed up with I'm going to probably screw up the town, but in Florida for the basketball hoop.
Oh,
so
the
I
bands,
do
I forgot
see
all
that.
about- yeah,
and I
yeah,
guess
that
what I'm
was,
saying, Chief, again, without, you know, obviously, it's a safe bet that you don't agree with some of my stuff. I hope as an American you do respect my First Amendment right, obviously, as an American to say what I do.
Yeah.
But we need more of that. Like the basketball thing, that was a
great
good
stuff.
thing. That was a good thing.
I agree.
So I'm not here to slam you or whatever, but you know, it just seems like it just, for somebody that grew up in a time where police were more on the beat and more, you know, family oriented, so to speak. You know what I mean?
Right. We need to get back to it, and that's
And
what
the
we're
youth
trying to
need
do.
that. The youth need to see you guys, not just when there's a domestic, which is one of the worst incidents, not only for you guys, but also for kids that go through a lot of traumatic stuff. But they need to see that more, Chief. They need to see more of, you know, more of you guys in a different light. Not unfortunately so much like, you know. And listen, what would you say in closing? What would you say to the officers? I know you have nothing to do with the Euclid, but what do you say to the officers who do get in this? Let's say for the wrong reasons. What do you say to those officers who get into it and who do abuse their power? We can probably break down the video and maybe we won't agree on it, but I mean, and I'm glad it wasn't you guys, because what I saw there, in my opinion, okay, was excessive force. I mean, that's how I see it. But again, that's not you guys, and it's good that it wasn't you guys. But what do you say to the officers, Chief, that get in, literally, let's be blunt about it, for the wrong reasons,
Well,
and do end up on the news, you know?
Yeah, that's
How are you?
Look at that. Huh?
You're a
Mark
Yankees
Cassini.
fan?
How you doing?
You're a Yankees
Absolutely,
fan? I
man.
love it.
I
They
wanted,
won
I
last
wanted,
night.
I wanted to say hi to you before I go, but let me just get this last question real
sorry,
quick.
go ahead,
No, you're fine.
It's all. Like, here's the bottom line. It's all about leadership and supervision. It's our job as chiefs, as leaders, to weed out those officers. Those officers that do that every day. We get them out of here. It's all about vetting out who you hire. And look, we've gone like almost a year holding a position open, waiting for the right candidate, because it's all about who you hire. There's no question about it. Because if my guys, if my men and women are out there every day doing the right thing, being ethical, it makes me look great. It
Absolutely.
makes my department look good. And it's all about who you hire. And then once they do come on the job, if there's an issue, we quickly get rid of them as
I
fast as we
appreciate
can.
it, Chief.
So,
I like that.
thanks for coming
And
out.
thank
though.
you.
It's a
No,
great
absolutely.
night.
Thanks for doing this. Can you just keep it in mind, do more things like that?
absolutely.
I appreciate it, okay?
All right, brother.
Thank you,
Take care,
Chief.
Davey.